Hi everyone! I am here to do a really quick comparison video for all of you. I get a lot of questions about the differences between Reborn art dolls and Ashton Drake Galleries collectible dolls. Ashton Drake dolls, this is an Ashton Drake doll here, are factory-made collectible dolls for adults. Reborn art dolls are hand-painted unique pieces of artwork. So I wanted to share the differences with you all, kind of do a quick comparison. This is going to be a pretty quick video because I don't have too much time to film this evening, but I thought that this would be very helpful to some of you so that you can see the difference and see which one you would like to invest your money in if you are interested in collecting dolls as an adult, or if you already do, you just want to know if you want to get both of them or one of them, something like that. Now this is not going to be a perfect comparison either because these dolls are very different in some ways, but I thought that these would be the closest in similarity that I have between an Ashton Drake Galleries doll and a Reborn art doll. So before I get started talking about the comparison, let me tell you about each of these dolls first. This is Ashton Drake Galleries Little Grace, sculpted by Linda Murray. Very cute. She's got 1/4 limbs, a torso that goes over her cloth body. Here's her little feet. I do have a box opening up of her if you would like to go see it, and that may be helpful in you deciding if you would like this doll or not. She is still available on their website as far as I know at the moment. She is a classic from Ashton Drake. Everyone knows who Little Grace is. She's got such a sweet face. And then this is one of my Reborn art dolls. I named her Honey, so that's what you all know her as here on my channel. But she is the Guchin sculpted by Chen's Dolls. She was painted by Victoria Reese of Tiny Wildflower Nursery. Very cute. 1/4 arms, so she's got cloth that comes down to here. And full chunky legs. I hope that my camera is picking up the details on these dolls because that's what this video is all about, comparing them. So, Ashton Drake dolls, they're made in a factory. They are not Reborn dolls. Now, I think Ashton Drake markets them as Reborn-like dolls or for Reborn collectors, and it's because they are made for adult collectors. Now, the reason they are not considered Reborn dolls is because they are made in a factory. Ashton Drake Galleries does market them as dolls that are hand-painted, handmade. But what they're meaning by that is that these dolls are made in a factory setting where someone is sitting there doing the same details on the doll over and over. Whether it's someone sitting there doing the hand blushing or the tipping on the nails, like you can see here, or someone using the machine to root the hair. The hair is not actually hand rooted as with some Reborn dolls where someone sits there and puts 1 or 2 hairs at a time into the head of the doll using a needle. This is done in a factory. I unfortunately don't have any rooted hair Reborn dolls to do a comparison, but this factory rooting isn't too bad. It's a little bit pluggy. Again, I really hope that this is showing up okay through my phone camera. I do have my lamp on, but I might not have it close enough to these dolls. I really hope this turns out. If you can't see this video very well, just let me know in the comments, and maybe at a later date I can refilm it with my better camera. Excuse all that noise in the background as well. So that's what they mean by hand-painted, hand-rooted, hand-applied eyelashes, all of those things. They just have someone sitting there in a factory doing those things over and over again. As you can see, you can compare the detailing between this Reborn doll and this factory-made doll. They are very different. There isn't much detail in the Ashton Drake doll versus the Reborn doll. Very different. The Reborn doll is a lot more lifelike. Now, of course, the lifelikeness of a Reborn doll depends on the artist's skill level and what they use to create their dolls. But in general, Reborn dolls are going to be a lot more detailed and lifelike. I guess I should have started at the beginning. So both of these dolls actually start at the same place. A sculptor takes a lump of clay and they make the sculpt head, limbs, torso, if they're making a torso for the doll. Then from there, they go to factory, they're made into vinyl. Then these dolls are painted and put together in factory. These dolls are purchased as blank vinyl canvases by artists who will then paint them and sometimes root them, insert the eyes, all of that stuff. But this is all done by one single person. This doll may have been touched by who knows how many hands during the process of going through the factory and being created. So this doll, as you can see, let me just show you some details here. Here's her little hands. I mean, look at that compared to, let's see, put her little hand there. And we'll take the Ashton Drake's hand and we'll put them next to each other so you can see the difference. The Reborn doll is much more lifelike, a lot more detail added. Ashton Drake doesn't usually add a ton of detail. Sometimes you can see some blushing here and there, but they don't have a ton of detail. I would also say, just in general, not always, but in general, the sculpts of Ashton Drake dolls are a little less detailed than the sculpts of the Reborn dolls. So you can see all the tiny little wrinkles in the hand, a lot of detail, a ton of detail that I hope you can see there. And then if you look at the legs of this doll, this is the Ashton Drake doll, you can see here there's not a lot of detail. Whereas when you look at the legs and feet of the Reborn doll, see a lot more detail. The artist has put this beautiful mottling on the doll. It's just gorgeous. Of course, like I said already, it does depend on the skill level of the artist with this doll. So here's just a little close-up of her face. This doll actually has painted hair, not rooted hair. I really wish I had one to compare to the Ashton Drake hair. I actually enjoy collecting both types of dolls. I love my factory-made dolls and my Reborn art dolls. For me personally, my Reborn art dolls are my favorite because they are more lifelike, so they're more fun to photograph and dress up, just in my opinion. And they're more customizable when it comes to weighting and things like that. Ashton Drake Galleries does not make it easy to reweight their dolls. You almost, not all the time, but most of the time, you end up having to destroy the cloth body that they're on, buy them a brand new cloth body from one of the Reborn doll suppliers, like the businesses who supply Reborn doll crafting things like McPherson's Arts and Crafts, or let's see, what are some others? I can't think of any others. Dolls by Sandy, and I know there's a few others here in the US. McPherson's is in Canada, but they ship to Canada and the US, and McPherson's is just really great. Definitely recommend them. They're not stuffed with as good a quality materials as most Reborn art dolls are. I guess that's kind of it for my comparison here. I just wanted to do a quick comparison of these two dolls together, and I hope that was helpful for some of you. And I want to say that just because I say that Ashton Drake dolls are not Reborn dolls, that's just in definition. I'm not saying that you would enjoy a Reborn art doll more, or that Reborn art dolls are necessarily better, or anything like that. If you enjoy Ashton Drake dolls more, or that's what your budget can afford, that's totally okay. I mean, as you can see here, I enjoy both types of dolls. I collect factory-made realistic baby dolls and the one-of-a-kind Reborn art dolls. I love them all, and it's totally fine for you to love all of them too. And, you know, I just don't want anyone thinking that just because I say Ashton Drake dolls are not Reborn dolls, it doesn't mean that your doll collection is less enjoyable or even less valuable to you. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about comparing the two, please leave them in the comments and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, everyone.